Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now I get asked a lot of questions on the channel from people who are looking to move here to Albania. So I thought it would be smart to put together a list of the most asked questions and we could take care of all those questions at one time. Now, the first one, the main one on the list is going to be, how do I obtain my residency if I'm from United States, if I'm from the UK, and so on? Well, I've got a resource for you. It's going to be free for you to ask. You can ask them right now. I'll give you that information. So what we did is we used an attorney, and I'm going to link his information down in the description below. And I asked him, do you want to be emailed, or would you rather them contact you on the phone app called WhatsApp? And he said email is fine, but he would prefer WhatsApp. So I'm going to put that down in the description below. If you know what WhatsApp is, it's a phone app that they use a lot here in Albania. If you're planning on moving here, you might as well download it to your phone. Anyway, you can ask Alvaro, that's his name, the attorney, any of your questions, and he can answer them for you very fast, no matter what part of Albania you want to move to. Now, he is located in Vlora. However, he can assist you with your questions. And believe me, it's better to get the right answer specifically tailored to you from an attorney. So there you go, a free gift. You can get the right answer by contacting him. Go down in the description below and get his contact information. Next one, can foreigners buy property or own businesses in Albania? Well, let's say go with the, can they own property? Absolutely. That is one of the roads towards residency, is if you own property here in Albania. And I will say, if you are looking to buy something here, get it while the getting's good, because this country is up and coming, constant improvements going on everywhere. I've only been here 4 months and there's nothing but constant upgrades everywhere I look around here. So everything is getting better and better. As a matter of fact, I live in Vlora. They're even building a new international airport. Should be completed next year. So we're looking forward to that as well. So things are really happening here. But yes, you can own property here in Albania. And the other part of that question was, can I own a business there? Well, I don't know if you've noticed behind me, but I'm not in somebody else's coffee shop. We are actually opening up a coffee shop. We even have a separate YouTube channel for that, giving you the process. There's a link to that down in the description below. But we are about to open up our own business. Our opening day is no more than a week or two away. So we're very excited about that. So yes, you can open a business here in Albania. It's a very simple process. If it was very difficult, I would let you know. It was extremely easy. And yeah, the same attorney that answered our questions and helped us with our residency helped us open our business as well. And he made everything smooth as silk. Now, another big question is, what is the cost of living like compared to the United States or compared to the UK, or fill in the blank? Well, we'll do another video about cost of living, but I can tell you this, compared to the United States, the cost of living here in Albania is substantially lower. I'm not even sure if I can afford to go to the United States anymore. We moved here from Thailand, so we have been away from the United States for some time. It's about 4.5 years we've been away from the United States. Looking at the prices over there, yeah, it's substantially lower over here across the board. Can't really answer that for the UK. I'm sure it is lower. I just don't live there. I never lived there, so I have no idea. However, prices are lower here. US, very much lower than the US. Another question is, should I keep my old account in my original country or open a new one up in Albania? Well, do both. Keep your old one and open a new one here. Now, I gotta say, and again, this is for US residents only, I was a little shocked when we opened up a banking account here. Now, I had to open up 4 different accounts simply because we had our personal account, our business account, then we had our personal account for euros and our business account for euros. Our primary one was in Albanian lek. Don't know why it's done exactly that way, but that really wasn't the holdup. The holdup was the United States. Somehow there's some bureaucracy and paperwork going back and forth between the United States and Albania. I remember looking it up. I don't remember what all was involved, but it did take us about 3 weeks to get approved for a banking account. I'm also asked, how much is rent in Albania? Now that's a loaded question because what part of Albania are you talking about moving to? So the only thing I can tell you is the rent range here in Vlora where I'm at, which is a very popular city for expats here in Albania. And I could say we're going to start with the lowest that I think someone moving here from either the UK or the United States or from Australia, fill in the blank there, would probably want to pay for a place that they felt was really good. The lowest I would say is about 250 euros a month on up. Now the place that I am renting right now is about 350, and I know other people paying 400, 450. That's like the common range. Now you can go as high as you want, but I hope that helps you out just a little bit on the housing. The other thing is that easy to find affordable quality housing. No, not really, and it really depends on your situation. Let's say you move here and you got 3 dogs. You're gonna have a hard time finding a place because a lot of places don't allow you to rent with animals. Now we have 2 dogs, so it is possible. You really are going to need some help from a realtor to find the people who will rent to you with animals. The other thing that makes it somewhat difficult is, let's say you want to rent just like a little house, little fence around it, you just want a house. Well, they do have that here, but the norm is there's a bottom floor and a top floor to this house. They'll usually rent you just the bottom half or the top half. So in other words, we've looked at a lot of places that we thought we were getting the whole house, only to find out only the bottom was the one for rent and there was somebody living on top. So it's kind of hard to find a whole house. So a lot of times you're going to be stuck in an apartment, which there are a lot of good apartments here, but of course that's not for everybody. So it just all depends on what you're looking for. Do you want to see a view of the sea from your apartment, or does it not matter to you? Do you want to be in a newer part or do you want to be in an older part? So it can get a little difficult. I want to explain one thing real quick. When you are working with realtors here, typically one realtor firm, they only handle and will only show you houses that they list. So if there's other houses out there that they don't list, you need to find out who the real estate agency is for those homes. So in a nutshell, you're going to need to go to lots of different real estate agencies to find a place if that property is going to be harder for you to find. How good is the health care, and are there really good doctors available? Well, the only thing I can tell you so far is I haven't been to the hospital myself. We have used doctors here for just outpatient procedures, and I do have a new landlord coming up. We are moving to a high-rise on the 9th floor, and our new landlord is a doctor in the Capitol. So we did get to talk a little bit about healthcare here. So healthcare here is on the rise, and it's good to have referrals for the doctor you need if you really want good quality healthcare. So make sure to do your due diligence and find the right hospital for exactly what you're needing. Referrals are everything. Is it easy to get around your daily life, things you want to do just by walking? In other words, what mode of transportation should I use? Loaded question. Just did a video on this not too long ago. So there's different modes of transportation. If you move to an area, it really depends on where you're moving, that you can walk everywhere. Well, obviously there you go, you can walk. A lot of people use the stand-up e-scooters. Problem with those, if it's raining real bad, a lot of those are not 100% waterproof and you can ruin them, but they are easy to get around on, but very dangerous. You've got motorcycles, very easy to get around with a motorcycle, but then again, you've got the danger of it. You do have cars, which is great, except there's almost nowhere to park in most of the cities, so it can be a big pain and it can get congested while driving in a car very easily, and it can be very frustrating. A lot of people have asked me about the bus system. I have not used it. A lot of the bigger cities do have a bus system, but again, haven't used it, so I can't tell you anything about that. There are taxis you can use, so if you wanted to walk around for the most part, and if you had to go somewhere far away, you could always get a taxi. So there, you've got plenty of options here. The only thing I know of for a fact that they don't have yet is a train. Is it safe in Albania? Absolutely. I don't worry about safety at all here, and I'm not just throwing that around. Again, we moved here from Thailand. Thailand was another very, very safe country. Now, when I was in Vietnam, couldn't say the same thing. So I do have something to compare it to. I've been all over Central America. I've been all over a lot of places in the world, and I will tell you that Albania is one of the safest places I have been. A shocker to some people. You think, oh, it's got to be a rough place. It's got to be, you got to protect your stuff. No, very family-friendly place around here. Very safe. Don't take my word for it, though. Make sure to go on some expat forums on Facebook, talk to other people, and ask them what they think. Make sure that they do live here. How friendly are the Albanian people to foreigners? They're very friendly if you engage them in conversation. If you just ignore them, they're going to ignore you. If you don't smile at them, they probably won't smile at you. So it's one of those situations where if you want friendly people, you want them to be warm and inviting, you want them to smile and talk with you, you're going to have to engage in conversation with them. But if you're one of the people, like I see a lot of expats, they just only want to talk to other expats. They never want to interact with other Albanians, then you might have a whole different experience and think, oh, the Albanians just aren't friendly. You've got to engage them. Now, if you've been on any of the forums before, a lot of people are always griping about the electricity and the water. So I got a lot of questions about, does the electricity go off all the time? Does the water get cut off all the time? Well, let me just put it to you like this. Been here 4 months. I think we've seen the electricity cut off about maybe 5 or 6 times. No longer than an hour. The water has been cut off a couple of times. Again, no longer than maybe an hour or 2 hours max. And most of the time, it's just a few minutes. So those things can happen. It's not that big of a deal. If that's a deal breaker for you, you may want to look at another country, but I'm telling you, it's really not that bad. And it can be the area that you're living in. A lot of the up and coming areas that they are building new high rises and things, maybe the infrastructure just doesn't support that as well as some of the older places that are here and established. I don't know, depends where you live, but that's just my take. If I rent an apartment there, does it come furnished or do I need to furnish it myself? Well, you can get either one, and let me tell you, if you're somebody picky about your furniture, you might want to get one that isn't furnished so you can do that yourself. But if you're coming here trying to test out the waters and you really don't want to commit, it's very easy to find apartments that are fully furnished. As a matter of fact, it's easier to find ones that are furnished than it is to find them unfurnished. The next one is, are pharmacies well stocked? Well, yes and no. It really depends on the one you go to. So the city I live in, again, Vlora, there's some pharmacies that really you walk in and they got some stuff, but it's all spread out. And just, there's something that looks all nice and pretty, but it just doesn't look like they got a whole lot of inventory. And that's usually the case. And there's other ones I go into, this is the same things like Thailand. They're just packed full of stuff everywhere and there's almost no room to move. There's no room for the customers. That's the one you want to go to because they carry everything. So it's one of those things where whatever city you live in, go to a lot of pharmacies. But if you see one where people can barely move around because there's so many of their products in there, that's probably the one you want to go to. Are there international supermarkets available? Well, not everywhere, but the big cities, absolutely, you can find them. You're going to have to go. There's grocery stores all over the place. So to find those specialty ones that carry things from overseas and import them here, you may have to look a little bit, ask on some forums for expats. They'll tell you where they are, but they're here. Is the water safe to drink? Well, the short answer is no. I'm sure there's people who will say yes. So I will leave that up to you. I will tell you that I use bottled water. I live in a pure Albanian neighborhood. There are no other foreigners that I have ever seen in 4 months in our neighborhood, and I see everyone every day carrying bottled water to their homes. So if that isn't a good indication on whether you can drink the water or not, I don't know what is. If somebody tells you differently and you want to drink the water, drink the water. However, I will tell you, you want to have it either filtered, which there are plenty of companies around here that have the filtration systems, the reverse osmosis, and you can buy water and bring it to your home. I also get asked, is it affordable to eat out? Well, that's a great question. I'm going to tell you what my wife and I typically spend if we go out to eat, and I'm going to let you know what we ordered so you can adjust accordingly, because I don't know if you're going to try to order a steak. We're not. So when my wife and I go out, it's just two of us, we will both have a drink. I'll have usually it's a diet drink, so like a Coke, Coke Zero, or Pepsi Max. And my wife will usually get a bottled water, or she will get a Coke Zero. We usually get a pizza. It's a good sized pizza. We split the pizza. It usually comes to around, in US, I would say it's about $11. Here in Albania, it's about 1,000 lek for all that. Sometimes 900 lek, depends on the restaurant you go to. So that's what I'm going to gauge it on now. If you order something different, let's say you're not splitting something, then just add a couple of dollars to that. And that's usually what it is for my wife and I. Of course, that does depend if you're going to a really fancy restaurant that's overlooking the sea, if you're in a city like ours in Vlora. But just to give you an idea of a typical restaurant, that's about what we pay. And lastly, is Albania a good place for retirees, digital nomads, or families with kids? Absolutely. We've got some friends of ours. They just moved here. It's at 25. Their ages, they're 25. It's a couple. They got 2 small children, and they are fitting in fine here. This is a very family-friendly place. All of Albania. They really love kids here. So it's a very safe place. We've already been over that. So it's a great place for families. It's also a great place for retirees. If you want to get away from it all, it's easy to do. Choose your place that you want to move to wisely. My suggestion, if you want to get away from everything, you can easily go 15, 20 minutes away from a major city and live in the middle of nowhere, but you're still close enough to drive to the city to take care of all the things that you really need to do, or to go out for a nice meal. So digital nomads, the infrastructure here for internet is not bad whatsoever. I'm very picky about things like that. Obviously, I've got a YouTube channel, got to upload videos and all that good stuff. And I have not had any issues with the internet service here. It's very good. So I give it an A+ for all that stuff. Is it as fast as you're going to find in maybe the United States? No, but it's fast enough. And for phones, they finally got 5G going here. So that's a new thing here. I know it's not the rest of the world, but we got it finally, so yay. But it does depend on where you're at within Albania for now. So that's all I have for you right now. If you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee. We'd really appreciate it. There's a link down below in the description. Don't forget, by the way, about the attorney who can answer your questions. That's down in the description as well. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you want to see what it's like owning a business here, check out our other channel. Again, that's in the description below. It's called Cafe 1912. Why 1912? That's the year of independence for Albania. And it was founded, meaning the independence was in Vlora, the city I'm in. So anyway, you could check all that out. So thank you very much. And I'm going to say thank you in Albanian, which is Faleminderit.